The very first body movement. Hello, I'm Jamila Musayeva, an international etiquette consultant, author of etiquette books and pre-recorded online etiquette courses. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 body movements that are going to make you look extremely confident. The very first body language movement that you have to be aware of in order to look confident is making sure that you have a straight posture. And I've actually done an entire video about straight posture, how to walk confidently, how to sit confidently. You can watch that video. But for now, let's stick to this one, in which I'm going to tell you there are a few things you have to be mindful of when thinking of a straight posture. So your spine has to be aligned, and of course this is something that comes with good workouts, ensuring that you have strong spine muscles, that you can hold yourself upright. And the next thing you have to be aware of is thinking about your head. Think of it as if there is an invisible string of a balloon that is pulling your head up to the air, so your head is aligned with your spine. So it's one long line that combines your spine up all the way up to the top of your head. And the other thing that you have to be aware of when you are sitting straight or having a straight posture is knowing where your shoulders are. In particular, a lot of people think that having a straight posture means you just put up your shoulders like that and you walk like this. That doesn't look confident at all. What you have to do is you have to roll back your shoulders and drop them down, so that at the back there you have 2 blades, that they are not actually tensing towards each other. They're relaxed, but your shoulders are rolled backwards and drop downwards. And the last thing you have to be careful and mindful of is that your neck is open and it's not closed or tightened with your shoulders, because when you have your shoulders up like that, your neck shortens, so visually you just look smaller, you shrink like that. What you have to do is instead roll your shoulders backwards, drop them down, and make sure that you have an elongated neck, which immediately gives a more confident look. And also, the last component, you have to be aware of your chin. Your chin has to be parallel to the ground, meaning that you can pretty much draw a straight line between your chin and that of the ground. So when people think of having a straight posture, looking confident, sometimes they think that involves putting your chin up like that. That looks snobbish. It doesn't look confident. You have to drop it down, level it out, make it parallel to the ground, and that makes you have a good posture. The second body language movement that you have to incorporate in order to look more confident in your body, just confident in everyone's presence, is making sure that you take an expansive presence. What that basically means is that you physically occupy more space. That doesn't mean you have to mass spread. Gentlemen, if you're listening to this, don't think that mass spreading too much is actually making you look more confident. It can look very seductive in certain parts, in certain movies, but if you're thinking of looking confident in a business setting, then mass spreading too much might actually look vulgar. Instead, what you have to think is making sure that every posture that you're holding is open. So your chest is open, that your spine is aligned, that your neck is elongated and it's visible, that your palms obviously are open, and that your hips and your feet, so your feet if you're standing, has to be hip width apart. So instead of putting them together, that involves not only men but also women, you don't have to put your feet very close up together. You can slightly put them apart, therefore physically occupying more space. That also gives you more stability on the ground, hence you feel like you are in charge, you feel more present wherever you are. So if you want to immediately shift your mood from not feeling confident to confident, try to put your feet apart slightly, open up your chest, open up your neck, open up your gaze, chin parallel to the ground, and you'll immediately feel like you have control of this setting, of this presence, and that of course exudes as confidence. The third important body movement that you have to be aware of, I touched upon it briefly in a previous point, and that is making sure that your palms are visible when you're talking to people, when you're interacting, when you are, creating new connections and networking. When you have your palms in a form of a fist, or if you have your palms hidden in your pocket or behind your back, that usually gets picked up on subconsciously from other people, that you're trying to hide something, or you're not sure of yourself, you're trying to get away from that space, you're not feeling comfortable and confident. There's almost like you want to run away, or you want to hide something that you're holding in your hand. Open palms often translates as confidence, openness, desire to cooperate, credibility. And so even if sometimes you feel like you want to hide from people, you don't feel comfortable in the setting, make yourself open up your palms, make yourself open up your arms when you're talking to people, and that immediately gets picked up on as this person has nothing to hide from me, this person feels comfortable around me. So comfort is oftentimes picked up as confidence. Another thing that I've noticed is that when I'm doing a lecture, if I expose most of the time the insides of my palms, the audience tends to listen to me more rather than when my palms are facing me. So this is something you can also incorporate in your daily conversation, in your daily lifestyle, in terms of the way that you gesture, in order to make sure that majority of the time that you speak, your palms are visible to the person you're talking to. The fourth important body movement that you have to incorporate in order to look more confident is making sure that you have a steady eye contact. I know a lot of people that don't feel comfortable making an eye contact, and I understand why. Some people grew up in a culture where it was not acceptable to look into someone's eye, particularly if someone was superior to them, a person who is not a family member due to religious reasons, that you wouldn't look straight into their eyes. So some people have a discomfort growing up looking into someone's eye, and that's when I said a good trick is if you can't look into the eye, you can look over here in between the eyebrows. That will also look like as if you're looking into their eyes without the intimidation of looking into the eye. But try practicing looking into someone's eye, maybe briefly for a little bit, because creating this eye contact is really, the eyes are the gateway to our soul. You can get to see the person's soul through their eyes. So having a good eye contact will ensure that you get to know the person even better. And so what I meant about steady eye contact is that you don't have to confuse it with a stare. Oftentimes people think that, a good confident eye contact is when you look into the person's eye and you just don't blink and you look straight. No, that's not. That is very scary, and that might look actually like you're staring, border like you're a maniac. So it might make the other person feel uncomfortable. With a good eye contact, it means for about 60-70% of the conversation, you're maintaining the eye contact. The other times you're either blinking or sometimes looking away. You don't have to roll your eyes, but you can look away, look here, right, left, and then back to the person. But whatever you do, no matter how much time you take off from the eye contact, make sure that when you end your conversation, your sentence, the last thing that you're saying in that particular conversation, that you go back to making an eye contact, because that is the last thing that will be imprinted in the memory of the person you're talking to. Even if you weren't able to maintain the eye contact throughout the other time, because you ended it with an eye contact, they'll remember as you having a good eye contact with them. The fifth important body movement that you have to incorporate into your presence, and something that you have to be very mindful about, it is not something that we grow up learning. Maybe some of us do. For many of those, this is acquired, and this is something you can learn. It's teachable, it's learnable, and actually everything that I'm teaching in my etiquette videos and self-development videos are all learnable. Granted that you have the wish and the discipline to work on yourself, and you have the awareness into yourself, your body, and things that you need to work on. So all of this is really something that you can acquire, and this is an important part. I would say that it's not necessarily about particular movement, but rather incorporating stillness into your movement. So things like fidgeting, swaying your legs, or shaking your legs, or maybe touching your hair, or clicking on your pen if it's clickable, touching a certain accessory non-stop, doing something that makes you look restless, makes you look like you're not at ease, yet you're anxious. All of these movements are usually picked up by other people around you as something that is of a characteristic of a person who's not confident. Confidence is usually very much alienated with stillness, with being in touch with yourself and in control of yourself and your bodily movements. If you cannot, for example, you feel anxious and you feel like you don't know what to do with your hands, you want to bite your nails, or you want to, break your fingers, or what is it called, like crack your fingers, things that are associated with person who is anxious, who is restless, what you have to do is bring awareness to your body. Understand that, okay, I want to do this because I'm feeling anxious. What should I do now? I should stop it. And instead, what I can do is I can put my hands on my lap. If you're a guy, you can just put your feet apart, place your hands on your knees over your lap like that. If you're a lady, you can, put your hands on top of each other like that, almost resting the other hand with the other, almost stopping the other hand from making the movement. So this movement, when you can put your hand on your lap, it grounds you. It makes you feel your body and feel connected in the moment. And also, if you're someone who tends to shake the leg, tends to sway the leg, The best thing is making sure that you place both of your feet on the ground so they're not shaking, you're not fidgeting, you're not swaying them. You have to bring awareness to what your body is doing. Ground your feet flat on the floor, control them, feel your feet on the ground, place your hands on your laps, and feel present in your body. This deliberate movement is going to make you feel more still. The sixth important body movement that will make you look confident, and that's something that is not just going to make you look confident, it's going to make you feel more likable, it's going to make you have more charisma, it's going to make you look more approachable, more beautiful even, is smiling genuinely. A good smile on a face can open so many doors, can open so many connections. It's just something that invites people to come in. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a plastered smile over your face, which is something I'm completely against of. I don't think a plastered smile is ever good, and I don't trust people who have a plastered smile over their face at all times. I really like when the smile is genuine and when it's granted, when it's given to the person that is meriting this smile. So imagine if you're walking into the room, if you have a plastered smile over your face, for me that doesn't look confident. For me, a person who feels confident is usually at ease, doesn't need to smile at everyone, but once they meet the person they want to meet or they're connecting with, they're granting a genuine smile. And a genuine smile is recognizable by the crow's feet or the wrinkles around the eyes, by the uplifted motions. The edges of your lips are going up because that happens to you when the muscles get tensed when you're doing a real smile. And I think a good way to understand if you're doing a fake smile is when your face is fidgeting or when your muscles feel like they are not at ease. That means that you've been faking the smile the whole time. A good way to initiate a genuine smile is just think of something nice. Maybe you really liked what they're wearing. Maybe you like the ambience of where you are. Maybe you really love the weather today. Think about something that makes you genuinely smile and continue thinking about it where you're connecting with a person, and that will keep that genuine smile on your face. And the last important body movement to look more confident, again, has nothing to do with a particular movement per se, but it's about the kind of movements that you do. And in order to look more confident, your movements have to feel like you are in control of them. They have to be controlled rather than erratic, haphazard, all over the place. I often see and observe that when a person feels not confident, anxious, nervous, restless, they tend to do all these kind of weird movements. They'll change the movements every 5 seconds. Almost it feels like their body is not aligned with what they want to do. They keep changing their body posture. They, for example, might be leaning backwards and forward, then slumping, then straight, and then they keep on changing their body posture, keep on changing their hand gestures or movements. So all these movements we subconsciously pick up as this person doesn't feel like they're at ease, they don't feel comfortable, and they don't feel confident. So in order to make the person seem like you are confident, you have to be in complete control of your movements. So if you bring awareness to your body that I am continuously changing my body posture because I'm not feeling at ease, take pauses in between those movements. Count to 5, 7, 10, whatever amount of seconds you need in order to calm yourself down before you switch to a different movement. Again, bringing back to the point that I raised earlier, you can actually firmly put your feet on the ground, put your hand over the other hand in order to feel more in control of your body, more present with your body, firmly on the space, say on a chair or wherever you are seated. So if this is something that you're struggling with, the first step into changing that is bringing awareness to your body and then taking intentional pauses. And then over time, you're going to regain that control over your erratic movements, and your movements are going to be more slow, and eventually you're going to bring stillness to your body. Some people say that meditation helps a lot. I'm personally someone who's struggling to meditate, albeit I'm a very calm person and I'm very collected, but meditation is something I'm struggling with. So for me personally, it's not just about meditation that can help. There are other ways. The way that I am urging, if you're not able to meditate, is to bring awareness to what you're doing as if you're observing yourself from a side, as if you're stepping and looking at what am I doing from the side. You can, of course, use your iPhones. You can film yourself, sometimes when you're at home, when you're eating, or when you're having a Zoom call. Notice what are some movements that you're doing. Maybe they weren't really necessary in that moment. And then by being aware of what you're doing, you're going to regain control over your body. And then by practicing those poses, you're going to look more still and you'll have more control over your movements. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, do let me know down in the comment section below. Also, give me some video suggestions. I love reading your feedback. I love taking notes on them. And if you're interested in learning more about etiquette, you can get my etiquette books that are available on my website for international shipment. You can also join my pre-recorded online etiquette courses. One is called Dining Etiquette from A to Z, that teaches you everything you need to know from the moment you get out of the car to the way you eat a formal dinner, 5-course meal. So if you're meeting your in-laws, a business partner, a future husband, you might want to take a look at this course. And the other course is called The Art of Entertaining at Home. It teaches you how to set up a table according to 4 different seasons, how to wrap gifts, how to just, genuinely and nicely host people over at home. So if you're interested in all of that, you can check out my website. The courses are available and they're pre-recorded, which means you can watch them anytime, anywhere in the world at your own leisurely pace. And if you want to learn even more in depth about etiquette and you want to become my patron, you can join Patron Etiquette Movie Club, where every month I do an etiquette analysis of different kinds of movies. So far, I've done over 40 different movie analysis, including Devil Wears Prada, Titanic, Roman Holidays, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Intern, Mona Lisa Smile, Eat, Pray, Love, all the great movies. And by accessing it now, you can actually view all those exclusive etiquette reviews. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.